Hello. So today we are going to discuss how to use the Agentforce connectors. Okay, and through this Agentforce connector, how we can able to connect our the Agentforce the agents which we have created in Salesforce. Okay, and that basically agent is going to invoke our MCP server. So in our previous videos or lectures we have seen that, okay, like we have created one of the Agentforce, okay, and by using the API catalog and topic centers. Okay, let me quickly give the recap. So hope you remember this customer case management. So as part of the API catalogs we have created, if I can able to show this quickly, okay, so that we can able to sync API catalog. Okay, so once we are going to this API catalog, okay, so this is the API which we have created in Anypoint platforms, and that has been already deployed. And since our the Salesforce org and Anypoint platform orgs are connected, and so we can able to see all this deployed this open API specifications which is compatible with the Agentforce here. So this is the API which is already deployed. Okay, and this is the Agentforce we have created, and in order to use that through the MuleSoft Agentforce connector, it must be activated. Okay, so if you see, this is the activated. Okay, and this is the customer case management. Okay, which has this 4 actions. Okay, so if you see, these actions are like create case, update case, fetch case details. Okay, so these we all have covered this all the step by step into our previous. Okay, the purpose of this tutorial or this video is just to we wanted to see how we can able to connect that particular agent which is been there into the Agentforce. Okay, and we can able to like get this. Okay, so suppose I have created here 3 endpoints. Okay, and this is the purposefully or required one. Okay, because as part of this Agentforce connectors we can be able to see there are 4 activities or operations are there. One is the start agent conversation, one is the end agent conversation, and one is the continue agent conversations. Okay, so basically this is the simple call, uh, our endpoint for the HTTP post one. Okay, and this is the start agent conversation. Okay, so once you are going to see this, okay, it is basically going to take the connector configuration as a agent configurations. Okay, and here we have to give the agent list. Okay, so because it quite possible we will have the multiple agents into the Agentforce. Okay, so particular which agent you are supposed to connect. Okay, so that we need to specify here. Okay, and how you are going to get this ID? So simply once you are going to see this, okay, so here you can able to see, go to this agent, you can see this is the your agent ID. So this Copilot ID is nothing but your agent ID. Okay, so that you can going to put over here. Let's quickly see what all the configuration parameters is required. So in order to connect with the Agentforce, okay, as part of this Agentforce configuration, you are need this auth client credential where you are supposed to give the client ID, client secret, okay, and the token URL of your the Agentforce org. Okay, so these all things are these 3 things are required. Rest you can able to uh, provide. Okay, I haven't make any configuration related to proxy security as well as the advanced, so these I kept as a default one. And this is the client ID, client secret, you are going to get it from your the connected from your Salesforce org. Okay, in where your the Agentforce is there. Okay, these all are the few things which I have used, okay, internally. But the important thing is, first we need to give the start agent conversation, which means that this is going to initiate the or establish the connection with the agent. In response, it is going to return a session ID. Okay, because each agent each handshake each request which is going to connect with the particular agent along with this start agent as part of the start agent conversation. Okay, so it is going to return a session ID. Why session ID is required? Because to communicate further with that particular agent, this session ID is required, and that particular agent is going to identify request, okay, as part of that session ID. Okay, so once we are going to initiate this agent, okay, so it is going to give us the session ID. If we are going to start the communication further, continue our communication further with that agent, so if you see the endpoint which I have defined, it is looking for the session ID as part of the endpoint URI. Okay, so we need to pass this session ID. Okay, and if you see here what the things is required as part of this continue agent conversation, so it is asking the message. What is the message? Message is nothing but the prompt which we are passing. Okay, this is the session ID which is required. Okay, and this is the message sequence counter. This is the optionals. Okay, we can able to count the number of the message, okay, how many message, but these are the optional, we can able to keep like this. Okay, so these all I think if you see here, I have created like payload, next transaction ID, session ID I have extracted. Okay, and this is the object restore. I have just put this message count sequence, and I think is this same message count sequence I am using, message count as a number. So where I have defined this where, okay, so maybe message count, so here I have, okay, so this is something the how I am storing the message internally. I have used the object store where basically I am fetch message count object, so I am storing keeping the count of the message just for the internal processing. Okay, how many message got processed, how many, okay, so that I am storing somewhere into the object store. Okay, so this is for adding, this is for fetch. Okay, so if you see here, first I am fetching this message counting variables from the object store. Okay, and this is a start log. Okay, once I am passing this continue, okay, I am making this response builders. Okay, and here I am again adding the updating that variable as a counter. Okay, maybe you can take the simple variable as well. Okay, so there could be the n number of ways to implementation, but here for the sake of understanding I have used the object store. Okay, so this continue agent conversation is basically used to start the conversation against that particular session ID with the agent. Okay, once your communication has finished or completed and you want to, because this session, once you are going to establish, it will be remain open for the few, I think as per the default. Okay, I'm not sure about what is the default setting when this going to close, but as per the best practice recommendations, once our purpose is going to fulfill after this continue agent conversation, it's better to end the conversation with the agent. So here we have this end agent conversations. Okay, and there we only going to pass this session ID, so which is going to close that conversations. Okay, so we will see this, okay, how it is going to behave. Okay, so what I have done, I have deployed these things into the Anypoint platforms. Okay, so let's go here. So this is my Mule Agentforce demo, so that I have already deployed here. Okay, and this is my agent. Okay, which is, so let's see how we are going to connect with this. Okay, so suppose I have taken the Postman. If you see, this is the deployed version. Let me quickly show you. Agentforce demo. and this is the, here you can see the endpoint. Okay, so we'll see like how it is going to trigger over here. Okay, so let's see here. So suppose I am hitting this. Okay, is it working? Okay, not yet. Okay, let me restart Postman. Okay, so it's loading. Yeah, so suppose this is the start conversation. So as part of this, I'm not sending any body. Okay, just I'm sending it. Okay, let's see what the response we are going to get it. So it's 200, and here you can say we got this session ID. Okay, and what is the message? I'm Agentforce, I'm using, and more, ask me what else can you do to see how I can simplify your workday, how can I help. Okay, so this is coming from the that particular agent which is already activated into the Agentforce. Okay, let's quickly see. This is the response, which means that it is going to hit this API which has been deployed. Okay, and this is going to hit the that particular agent which we have here. Okay, not sure, but let me see whether we can able to see this session or something. I'm not sure whether we can able to see this all the session or not. So this is, I think, the latest one. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the coming message sent. Hi, I'm Agentforce, I use the AI search to trusted restore, which means this is the same message. Okay, which we can able to see into the Postman, which means our this API which we have already built and deployed. Okay, that is basically going to hit the agent. Okay, so that absolutely fine till here. Okay, now what we can able to do. Okay, back to all session. Let me see here now. So let's quickly move to the next one. So once the session has been established, we are supposed to take this session ID. Okay, and here we are going to, for the as part of the continue session, we are going to use this. Okay, what I am saying that, like suppose this is the prompt. Okay, provide summary details of a case where case ID is this. Okay, so let me go here, and this is the case ID 1190, and this is the case ID there. Okay, okay, so now we are going to see and get this summary of the case. Okay, why I am putting this summary of the, because if you remember in our previous video, this the Agentforce which I have used, that is using the estimable STTP. Okay, so it's going to return as a in the Agentforce as a response into the JSON. Okay, let's quickly see here. Topic. Okay, here if you see here, hi. Okay, let me see whether this Agentforce API is fine or not. Okay, let's try. Fetch a case details by case ID. Let's see. So it's asking, okay, please provide the case ID to details. Let me send this. Okay, so if you see, this is going to fetching the case details, okay, in the JSON format. Okay, but it has the two parts. One is the like normal text and one is the JSON. Okay, so my intention is not to get the details in this. Okay, because I'm using here this Agentforce. Okay, and here I have just used the prompt. Okay, like just send one plain normal user text as a prompt, not as part of the JSON to supply this case ID like this and going to take. Okay, so this is the reason I'm sending. Okay, provide summary details of a case where case ID is this. Okay, so I have used this 34 ending with as a latest session ID which we have established connection. Now I'm sending this prompt and see how this is going to behave. Yes, so now you can able to see the summary of details of this case. We can able to get this. Okay, so the case ID is this, has the following details: unable to access Salesforce external timesheet, status is closed, priority is high, descriptions. Okay, these all details. Okay, let me quickly see here the events. Okay, so it was the latest 1022. Okay, so let me see here. So there are some internal processing happened. I think agent for, let's see what is the user response of this. So user response provide summary of case details, text provide summary of input. Okay, where is the output? Yeah, so it's coming. So let's see where is the output. Ah, so this is the output. If you see, it is sending. Okay, output is the this the case with ID, this external blah blah, all this information. So here we can be able to see like this. This is the hitting. Okay, now quickly go to our this part, Agentforce, which is the API through which we are calling this agent. So let's see here. So here you can see we are getting this details. Okay, so seems using this agent continue conversation, we are going to invoke our this. Okay, now let's use this same to end these conversations. Okay, so we are going to use this. Okay, and now let me send this. So here you can see we are going to get as a session ended. Okay, which means that that is the session end. Okay, this is the continue conversation. Let me save this response for the future reference. Okay, so when we use this session ID to end the conversation, this conversation has ended. Okay, let me again try it out. Okay, since the conversation ended, okay, let me try again this session. See what we are going to get: error in HTTP request, error code 404. Okay, and it's saying that this particular session does not exist. Okay, because this session we have already closed. Okay, so here see request ID is this, error not found, v6 session not found for the session ID. Means what the session ID we are going to pass, this is not available. Okay, because we terminated this session. Okay, so to once we are going to connect, so think from that particular use case where already the Agentforce, okay, has been exposed by Salesforce. Okay, and suppose in today's world what we are doing through the Mule, okay, we are calling the Salesforce API, or either we are directly pushing the things into the Salesforce. If suppose certain use case where we need to fetch something data, okay, And so in spite of the using the API, if Salesforce is saying that okay, why you are not using, or any organization is saying why you are not able to use my agent, okay, which is already available, and it can give you the access by just sending the prompt. Okay, we are not supposed to send this JSON request, okay, or something. So, okay, just you write the, okay, fetch me the all the discounts which are applicable during this festival seasons, okay, or tenure. So through this kind of things, we are good to like use this Agentforce connectors, or we can connect and we can send this prompt and we can get the response. Okay, so maybe this is the one use case which I'm thinking. Okay, maybe it could be the various use cases on which we can able to like work or explore. Okay, so hope you are going to explore or like some more use case like where we can able to implement and use this. Okay, so that's it as part of this video. Okay, hope you like. Thank you.